Good morning, girls. In the last class, we discussed about the fall of Bastille and about the tennis court oath. Now, today we'll be learning about the Declaration of the Rights of Man and Citizen and about the post-revolution period. Declaration of the Rights of Man and Citizen. On August 27, 1789, the National Constituent Assembly issued the Declaration of the Rights of Man and Citizen containing its ideals and objectives. So we had already learned about the National Assembly. The National Assembly, it had representatives of the Third Estate, and this National Assembly, they demanded for a constitution, a democratic constitution. And when this National Assembly, it changed to the National Constituent Assembly, it had all the three estate representatives. And this National Constituent Assembly, they issued the Declaration of the Rights of Man and Citizen on August 27, 1789. And this document, it had its own ideals and objectives. Now, ideals means, the word ideals, it means principles. So this document, it had its own principles and goals, its own principles and objectives, which reflected on the human rights, which reflected on the human civil rights, rights of the citizens. It proclaimed that all men were born free and shall remain free and were equal in rights. So according to this document, all the citizens, they were born free and they would remain free. There are no slaves and there are no lords. Everyone is born free and they will remain free, and they were equal in rights. It was against the system, the three estate system, where the first two estates had all the privileges and the third estate was a unprivileged class. It was against that. According to this document, all men, they were born free, they would remain free, and they had equal they are equal in rights. The natural rights so proclaimed included the right to liberty, property, individual security, and resistance to oppression. So according to this document, they had the right to liberty. Liberty, it means free from any control. So this, according to this document, they were free from any restrictions or any control. And the right to property, they had the right to own property, to possess any property. Individual security, they had the right to have their own security. Each individual had the right to have security, the right to security, and resistance to oppression. And they had the right to right of resistance to oppression. Now, resistance means to oppose, and oppression means any cruel treatment. So they had every citizen, they had the right to oppose, to go against any ill treatment, any cruel treatment that was given to them. In 1791, the National Constituent Assembly completed the task of drafting a new constitution for France. So, on 1791, the National Constituent Assembly, it completed drafting the new constitution. The salient features inscribed in the constitution were the following. Now, we'll see the important features. Salient means the major or the relevant features which are written in the constitution. The government of France was converted into a limited monarchy without any power. So initially, the government of France, it had an absolute monarchy where the king had the absolute power. He was a supreme authority. Everything was according to his will. Everything happened according to his will. So when the constitution was drafted, the new government, the government of France, it was converted into a limited monarchy. It changed from the absolute monarchy to a limited monarchy which did not have any power. The right to vote was given to only those citizens who paid a certain amount by way of taxes or possessed property. So the right to vote, the right to vote was given to only those citizens who paid a certain amount as tax or those who possessed property. Only the citizens who paid some amount as tax or who had certain amount, who owned certain property could have the right to vote. The National Legislative Assembly was set up with the power to declare war and peace. So this constitution, it set up a National Constituent Assembly, which had this National Constituent Assembly, it had the power to declare war and peace. Dominant position was given to the middle class. So the major positions, the higher positions were given to the middle class people. Papal control over the church was removed and the church was nationalized. So initially the church, it was under the control of the Pope. So papal control, it means the control by the Pope. So church, it was under the control, it was under the authority of the Pope, and this was removed and the church, it became more nationalized. The property of the church was confiscated and the number of churchmen were reduced. So the property, all the property under the church, it was confiscated, which means it was taken back, it was seized forcefully, and the number of churchmen, it reduced. And the churchmen means the members of the church members, the number of church members was also reduced. So these are the salient features of the Constitution. Now we learn about the post-revolution period, the period after the revolution, which came after the revolution.